I'd like to talk about Kundalini today. What is Kundalini? Kundalini, first of all, is a Sanskrit word, and it translates literally into coiled she-serpent. And it's everything. It's everything in the material and psychic material world. So material meaning the directly physical, the tangible that you can touch, but also the mental psychic world that we also live in. Kundalini is what causes us to dream at night. It is the substance of our dreams. So it's not just everything physical, but it's also everything psychic physical. Psychic things are physical, it's just in a subtler form. So Kundalini is this carnal world that we live in. It is the matrix itself. Now, some people think that they have activated their Kundalinis, and maybe some people have, and maybe some people think that they have. Kundalini can be activated in your body in that it can rise up the central channel of your spine, of your subtle spine, and move up into your head, and it can cause a transcendental event. And that is the goal of a good yoga practice. The postures and the breathing and the internalization of your focus and the absorption of oxygen through your system gets you into a high state of consciousness where the Kundalini that usually resides, the richness of the Kundalini mostly resides, concentrated form, in your base chakra, near your genitals. Why would that be? Because the main purpose of life in this realm is reproduction. And so we need to have the most of our Kundalini life force concentrated down in the genitals so that we will reproduce. That's why people are so oversexed. And sex is such a big thing in this realm, because the Kundalini life force, it's everywhere, but the concentration of it resides in your groin, in the genital organs, at the base chakra. So everything that we do is really meant to encourage reproduction. We eat, we drink, we sleep, we defend ourselves, the major actions of the Kundalini, of the life force. We do those things so that we will reproduce. It's all about reproduction when it comes to this particular Kundalini matrix realm that we exist in. So that's why the Kundalini is located at the base of your spine, reproduction. Keep those juices flowing down there. That's what it's all about. But if you're into yoga, you're interested in bringing that Kundalini life force up through the higher channels of consciousness into the body and up into the head, where transcendental events can occur, can and will occur. We're not just genitally focused in yoga. Yoga is a higher practice. We're not just trying to repeat the same behaviors over and over again that everybody else does in this realm. We're trying to break the program of the Kundalini, and we're trying to harness it. Yoga means yoke. It's a harness, and we're harnessing that Kundalini, and we're directing it like anything that you put a yoke on, anything you put a harness on. You're harnessing a horse. You're trying to control its behavior, and you're trying to get it to go where you want it to go. That's what we're trying to do with the Kundalini. That's what asana, postures, and that's what pranayama, the breathing exercises, are for. That's why we do such aggressive breathing, because that's what helps to lift the Kundalini up through the Sushumna Nadi, the central channel, and up into the head where we have transcendental events. Sometimes people even faint. You have to be very careful, and you have to be able to apply the locks. There's a certain way that we straighten the spine and we lock it into place so that we are controlling the movement of that Kundalini, because it's a very powerful force. And we use those locks, those bandhas in yoga, to help direct it and control it as it rises up into the head. I just want to read to you a little bit from my book, Splitting the Atma. Splitting the Atma. It's kind of a play on words, obviously. Splitting the atom, splitting the Atma. What's the Atma? The Atma is the spiritual self. It is you as a unit of existence, of spiritual, perpetual existence. It's the true self. It's the I self, the I am at the center of your headspace. It transmigrates from one body to the next body in its astral body or subtle body or pranic body. It goes from one physical body using the pranic body to the next physical body, or from one pranic body, because the pranic body doesn't last forever either. Only the Atma lasts forever. As Krishna said in the Bhagavad Gita, it can't be pierced, it can't be burned, it can't be cut, it can't be killed. So no matter how many times we die here, the Atma never dies. So this book is called Splitting the Atma, Revelations on Yoga. And I just want to read to you chapter 29. This is essay 29. This is a book of essays that I wrote. And it says, if you're not raising Kundalini, causing transcendental events, are you really practicing yoga? Rarely does a yoga student learn and apply the secret to a real yoga exercise practice. Most students accept what they're offered at a yoga studio by a certified teacher as being yoga. But the truth is that very few people, even well-meaning yoga teachers, understand what it really means to perform yoga exercises. It was only a few years ago that I came to understand that despite a dedicated 15-year practice and teaching, that I was really not practicing or teaching yoga. Why is this? Because, number one, I wasn't harnessing and raising Kundalini purposefully. I wasn't pushing my students to do so either. I didn't know I should be, and I didn't know how. Second, I wasn't having controlled transcendental events during my practice, nor were my students. Third, I wasn't using the laks or the bandhas properly. Fourth, I wasn't using breath infusion aggressively, which is like the bellows breath, the bastrika, that pumping breath. I wasn't using it aggressively enough to really prepare my body and psyche for the transcendental event of Kundalini rising and meditation. And last, I wasn't studying proper translations of the yoga source texts to even comprehend what the yogic goals are. The secret seems to be that, newsflash, transcendental events are supposed to be part and parcel of a yoga exercise practice. When you do a yoga practice, you should be having transcendental events. I mean, not just imaginary, like, oh, I feel at one with everything. It's not that. It's actual transcendental events, could be compared to like tripping. If you're not having them, yet say that you're practicing yoga, then at least you should be actively working toward transcendental events. Your yoga teacher, your so-called teacher, should be assisting you greatly in moving toward them. In fact, your teacher will be the person literally holding up the weight of your body as you fall unconscious the first few times you raise Kundalini to your head. She will be the one embracing your possessed body and whispering into your ear, pull in the chin lock, pull in the mind lock. As your eyelids involuntarily flutter, your eyeballs roll up towards your third eye, and your facial muscles twitch and dance as Kundalini moves through the channels of your body that may have never been touched by such grace energy. She may even wipe tears from your cheeks as you return to your body with all the emotion of having had experienced something beyond yourself, something psychedelic, something transcendental. She will be your protector until you are able to successfully apply the internal locking mechanisms, the bandhas, which enable you to align your spine and subtle body in such a way that you remain conscious in your body, witnessing as Kundalini life force energy moves up into your head and you experience another dimension of light, color, shape, sound, combined with feelings of bliss and transcendent joy. This all happens during yoga exercises and breath infusion, asana and pranayama. This is what real yogis are doing, and this is what yoga teachers should be doing. Why? Because this is what prepares us to sit down and practice yogic style meditation, the point of all this effort. The highest three limbs of the eightfold yoga Patanjali path that he Patanjali standardized for us. And yogic meditation isn't meant to have you stay in the here and now, forever watching your breath and being mindful. No. Yogic meditation means for you to detach yourself from normal mental activities and attach yourself to nod sound, the inner Om, riding it like a cosmic conveyor belt to ever higher awarenesses. As yoga practitioners, we should really ask ourselves about our own exercise practice. Why am I doing these asana? Why do I stretch my body and breathe it with special exercises and call it yoga, a word not from my native language? This can include Indians, as most Indians do not study or speak Sanskrit or even know what real yoga is. No offense. Ask yourself, what is my goal in doing these exercises, and are my goals the same as those itemized in the source texts which expound this ancient foreign concept, yoga? If my honest answer is that I am stretching for reasons like wellness, relaxation, peace of mind, and long life, yet I have little desire to understand yoga, one of the six astikas, meaning the belief in the self, schools of Hinduism, then I might consider reevaluating my use of the word. Beyond even my training at the renowned Shivananda Ashram teacher program, I spent years reading about yoga from every Tom, Dick, and Harry guru with Ananda at the end of his name. My heart was in the right place, and I was certainly staying physically and mentally healthy, but I was not making progress in terms of understanding the truly transcendental effects I knew yoga promised in those scriptures. Beginning in 2013, I had the good luck to study academic translations and commentaries of the Hatha Yoga Pradipika, Yoga Sutras, and the Bhagavad Gita, and to study under their author, a non-institutional, no-nonsense Kundalini master named Michael Beloved. I was forced to accept what I had suspected, that I had barely scratched the surface of what I thought a yoga practice was. Michael's insights make even the most revered guru philosophers look like children. They just do. It's not an insult. And I certainly don't say this to belittle them. It's just true. His mystic skills, understanding of reincarnation, translations, and purports of the yogic scriptures, humility, and his personal daily practice are unparalleled. His grasp and application of yoga is something I never imagined being lucky enough to find in this world, yet here it exists. And every day my practice deepens, my understanding expands due to this association. Again, I say, we should all question ourselves about our so-called yoga practice. It's worth it and causes us to know ourselves and our intentions and our goals so much better. It also saves yoga from further denigration. So please, stretch and hyperventilate yourself into controlled mystic events. Events that happen directly to you, not just stuff that you read about. Look around you. You can't see it, but the most powerful chemical drug surrounds you, waits for you to make use of it for transcendence. It's air, oxygen. Nothing is more powerful to your genuine Kundalini practice than the use that you can make of air. So that's it. I had to learn for myself that a good yoga practice means internalization of your focus so that you know the energies that you're working with. Intuitive postures where it's like you're moving the furniture around in your house and you're cleaning. And say you're cleaning your house and you don't move the furniture around. You're just kind of sweeping around them. That's a regular yoga practice. But if you're going to move the furniture and you're going to take a vacuum cleaner and you're going to scrub and you're going to really, really clean this room, that's the pranayama. So the postures will open up the body, but the pranayama sweeps and vacuums and cleans everything out. And the Bhastrika, the pumping breath, that's the kind of breathing that really cleans out the body and the psyche and prepares the Kundalini to come up from its hideout in the groin, to come up through the central channel and up into the head, where things are going to happen when it moves up into the head. And you'll know when it's happening. There are certain postures that really provoke it. Certain postures that are tried and true Kundalini raisers. So anyway, I'll try to do another video in the near future and show some of the more provocative Kundalini raising postures that are really effective in moving it upward. So anyway, thanks for listening. Have a good one.